Okay, so this is one of the YouTube requests again, wanting to know what do you do for a person who is at a distance, at least 6 feet. As I was trying to explain to the person that the first video was obviously for techniques for a person who's right up on your face, in your face, you know, like a robbery. Because obviously a guy who's trying to rob you, he doesn't want to make a commotion, so he's not going to be standing 6 feet away from you in front of everybody trying to rob you, you know, where it causes commotion. So more than likely, he's going to come up on you, you know, keep everything at a minimum, trying to tell you, look, I want the money, whatever. So those were the situations here. But what do you do for a person who is at a greater distance? So here's some scenarios for that. Now understand that at this situation, a gun is made for distance. All right. So obviously he has the advantage, and with these techniques like this, you're going to have to be, you know, it's a risk that you're going to have to take if you want to try. It's better than standing there, though, all right? So here's a scenario. The guy is at least 6 foot distance, right? He's at least six foot distance. Here. Back up a little bit. So he's at least a 6 foot distance from here. So the gun is pointed at you, all right? Now, if he doesn't automatically just start popping that off at you from this distance, if it's a robbery, supposedly from this distance, there's a number of things you can do. First thing you can do, one, is comply what he says, right? If he doesn't just come up and start blasting, he's telling he wants the money, do whatever he says. If he says take the money, I put it on the floor, say, all right, whatever. There you go. I don't want no trouble. You know what I'm saying? Now, he may tell you to back away. If he tells you to back away, you can comply. This is a situation where you just comply whatever he says to do. Whatever you want. You want me to back away? I'll get away from it. Whatever. If he says stand there. The thing is, you want him to close the gap. If you can get him, if he's smart enough, then he may keep a distance. If he knows, if he has some type of intelligence about himself, he'll keep his distance. He'll never close the gap. He'll tell you to move away, and therefore you do what he says. There's the money, no trouble, right? That's one scenario. Okay. By the way, this is our improvised wallet. I use it because of it's shiny and you guys can see it. You know, it's more, you can see it. So it's just a marker, but we're using this as our improvised wallet or money or whatever the case may be. Okay. All right, so that's the first one. Just do what the guy says, right? Just do what he says, all right? Hopefully he doesn't, because some people don't want witnesses. So hopefully you listen to what he says, and hopefully he doesn't want to kill you to keep any witnesses from, he doesn't want any witnesses. So hopefully that's that scenario, all right? Next one is where you can, instead of putting it down, he tells you to toss the money towards him or whatever, right? So at a distance, right? Back up a little bit. So he's at a distance, gun is pointed, he tells you he wants the money, he wants the wallet, he tells you to toss it to him. So again, compliance. All right, no problem, man. You want, all right, my wallet is right here, right? Reach for the wallet, he tells you to throw it to him, you can throw it at a distance and then make it run. As he's distracted, you make it run, you start running, ducking, diving, hide behind a car, get behind a building, run in a store, depending on your environment, wherever you are. If you out here like this, run behind some trees, just move, duck, dodge, run, keep it safe like that. Okay, so again, next scenario. Now, you could try to get the guy to, if possible, close the gap, depending on, like I said, how intelligent he is, all right? So, he's at a distance, gun is pointed, he wants to, right? So you're like, all right, no problem. I don't want no trouble, man, I don't want no trouble. You can have whatever you want. You want what? There you go. Here you go. Wallet is right here, okay? So now he's gonna close the gap to take it.
Okay, so here, what you wanna do is you're now holding the wallet out and you want to get the gunman to close the gap. So as he starts to move in to close the gap, boom, then you make your reaction, go through your techniques, shocking, striking, take him down, finish him off. All right. So the idea here was to, coax him to close the gap by holding the wallet up, and as he comes to get it, comes to retrieve it, then you move into action, and this will allow you to do your close quarter techniques by getting him to close the gap by coming to you to take the, to take whatever he is to take, whether it's your wallet, the money, the jewelry, or whatever he's intending to take off your person. This is how you want to get him to, to close the gap by taking it out. You hold it and you say, look, man, I don't want no trouble here. Just come take the wallet. And as he approaches to come take it, once he gets in range, then you go into action. Okay, good.
Next scenario, instead of you taking the money out, the money's on your person. You act as frightened as can be, and you coax him to come and take the money off your person himself. So he's at a distance. I'm at my distance, right? I'm acting very frightened. I'm so scared I can't even take the money. So he comes up on me to take the money.
Okay, so what you do now, in this one, you act so frightened that you can't even take your money out or your wallet out. This gets him to want to come in, close the gap, and search you himself. And as he comes in closer, bam, you go into action. So we got the arm lock here. As soon as he comes in, I take his arm, lock it, striking with the elbow, lock him down on his arm, come up on him, and I'm finishing off with a series of strikes. So the head area, finish him off. He's subdued, and we got him down. So the idea here, as I said, is to, act like you're totally frightened, too frightened to move, and therefore this brings him in to close the gap and start to search you and look for your wallet himself. And as he does this, bam, you spring into action and you finish him off. Okay? Okay, so the scenario here is that you have a firearm on you. Depending on what state you live in, you can carry a firearm, right? So our state we can carry. So here we use the wallet to distract him as I run for cover. Now we're using the chair. This is, a pretend car or something solid where I could run for cover. So just we're using the chair, but as a prop, but just it's that. So now you run for cover, and as you run for cover, you take out your weapon, and now you train your weapon on him, letting him know that, look, he better stand down, so he gives up. Or it could be an exchange of fire, right? You letting them see, though, that you're not just going to sit there and be a victim of his robbery or a victim of his shooting, that you're letting him know, look, I have a weapon too, and you could lose your life or you can be seriously injured, and it can either be an exchange of fire or he is going to have to make that decision to stand down. But either way, you have your weapon. You're not just sitting there allowing yourself to be this helpless victim. You're showing this criminal that, look, I have a firearm and, I have the intent to defend myself, and, you can wind up seriously hurt or you could lose your life. See what I'm saying? So as I said, this all depends on what state you live in. We live in Virginia, so we can carry weapons concealed with a permit or open carry without. So you better check your state or city, to find out about that. Okay, so now these techniques are dealing with a left-handed gunman. A person wanted to know what happens if the person is left-handed. And I was telling it really doesn't matter. The techniques can be performed the same way. It's just that the person is left-handed. All right? So it really doesn't matter. See? So you have a left-handed gunman. Gun is pointing in from the left hand. You can still move to the outside, just like from the other side. Moving from the outside, pushing the gun, forcing the gun back towards the person. Same thing. Doesn't really matter. The reaction is still the same. It's still a quick reaction to the outside, pushing the gun, kneeing, takedown, etc. Just like from the right side. Okay. You can also move to the inside. Right? Blocking the gun away from you, move to the inside, striking, breaking, locking, and performing the techniques from there. Striking, all those necessary components, take down, subdue, and finish the person. Alright? So it really doesn't matter whether it's right or left. Once you make your reaction, you got to go in the action from either side. Doesn't matter, because you don't know, right? Pushing it out, striking, strike, locking, breaking, or disarming the gun with the weapon. Make sure that's secure. Moving into position, locking down, taking the person down, and finishing the person off. Okay. Securing the weapon, returning the weapon back to the person threatening you with the weapon. So again, from the left hand. Alright, that quick reaction to the outside, locking to the outside, striking, breaking. Alright, since the person has threatened you with a serious weapon, you want to do serious harm and serious damage to that person's arm, because obviously, their intent was serious against you. Okay, now this is dealing with the person putting the gun to the back of your head left-handed. Now, of course, you don't know. When somebody puts the gun to the back, you don't know. So it's matter. All you do, as soon as you turn, you see your target, you go for it. Doesn't matter whether it's from the right whether he's right-handed or left-handed, you know you have to go into action. So whether I turn to the outside or I turn to the inside. Turn to the inside, same thing. I turn, as soon as I see my target, I go for it. You see? Your training should come into play. You're trained to strike at a target. So as soon as you turn, your mind should automatically react. You go in action, striking, hitting the elbows, right? Locking the joints. I turn, strike. This is where your training comes into play. Locking the arm. From here, if you want, you can also throw. Right? After disarming and locking the elbow, I can pick him up and I can throw from here. So what it takes is again, your training. You know, constant training trains you to hit targets, go for targets as soon as you see them. So whether I turn to the outside or I turn to the inside, as soon as I see my target, I strike. Okay? Striking. Locking up on the joints, locking the elbow, disarming from the lock. And we continue all our technique movements from there, locking him up, subduing, take him down, and I finish. Okay? So this is why there's constant training. Okay? So no matter what scenario, what position, what angle, you're always prepared. You always have something that you can, that you can execute. Okay? Now it's to your back. The gun's to your back. Again, doesn't matter whether it's from the right or from the left. Understand that this is what ninjutsu is about. It's about acting in the moment, adjusting to your environment, adjusting to your situation. So he's left-handed, so what? As soon as I turn, I go into action, I see my target, I strike. Alright? To the inside, strike. Distraction. Striking the vital areas, striking to the groin, locking up. Alright? Continuous motion. Locking him up, putting him in pain. Striking where it's going to cause damage, where it's going to cause immediate reaction, where I'm going to lock up the joints, where I'm going to break joints. This is where your training comes into play. Okay? So does everybody understand that? Doesn't matter whether he's left-handed or whatever. Once you make your move, you go into action and you put your techniques into play. You execute the techniques as you were taught. Okay, so what we're going to do here now is left-handed to the side of your head. Alright, so he puts it to the side of my head on the left with a left-handed grip. Okay, so what's important here from this side, with the person holding a left-handed and he's putting it to the side of your head, what you want to do here is you want to quickly move it up, block it out your way, quickly tighten the joints. You can strike, kick. I got him locked. Always holding the barrel away as I lock him down and stripping the weapon away, and now I hold the weapon back against him. Okay? So now we'll take it to the other side. Still left-handed grip. Okay? Now, again, boom, quickly blocking it out where the barrel is away from you, striking. Striking. Locking up. See? Arm is locked up. Arm is locked. Locking up the joint. If he tries to make any movement, see, we keep him always off balance. Keep him locked up. Keep him in pain. He's subdued. Okay? So the thing is, there's always continuous movement, right? You're never stagnant. You're always continuously moving. You're not just going to sit there and struggle with the guy holder. It's always moving from one technique to the other. There's always constant movement in between. You're always striking, shocking, keeping him off his game, keeping him off balance. Now, one thing when you do, again here, blocking away, right? You want to block away. You don't want to take it and have it coming across your face. You see? So you always want to block it the quickest way that'll get the barrel away from you. Right? So in this situation, it's going to be coming to the inside of the arm, pushing it away. Alright? As soon as you make your move, you go into action, striking, knee, kicking. Always making sure when you move, that when moving his arm, make sure the barrel is not pointed at you. Because you don't want that thing to go off and you end up getting hit in the process. Okay?